Now let's build the application logic in the user class. So we're going to need a password reset key. So code key is verification code. Password reset key, we'll just call that reset. And then here's where we're actually going to include a link on our website. If the password doesn't match, we'll give them a link they can click on to reset their password. But we'll come back to that later. And for verification code len, we also want to have a reset code len, which is also going to be 10. This is all the same. Generate code is the same. And then send verification, we're going to have one that looks just like this, except it sends the password reset code. And once again, we could refactor this, but this time the body of the message is most of this, and I'm not really sure there's much benefit in refactoring this. So we'll send reset code, and then we're going to generate a reset code len, store reset code, so this is going to be a little different here because in send verification, the user is already logged in before they can get the verification code. So we're looking up the current user on the session object. But here, the user is unable to log in because they don't know their password and they want to reset it. So we have to get the username from somewhere else. And we're going to have to ask the user to type that in and then pass it along. So I'm going to include username here. So instead of user : get user, we're just going to use the username parameter. And same thing here. This is reset key. Actually, password reset key. So just changing the email. And we'll call this generic share password reset. So the user's already provided the username. We're going to use that to get the email. So let's look up the user account information. We already have that in login. So it's basically this code here. So after we have the database connection, we store the reset code. We're going to look up the user information. And then if we find the user information, we're going to go ahead and send this email. So we're not going to return that. And then this pointer get email will now work because we called set email to request a password reset link. In order to reset the password for this account, please click on the link below. And then we're going to refer them to reset.php. We need to include the code key, which is code, and the username key, which is that. For code key, we're using the password reset key, so that's fine. And then everything else looks the same. So this should send us an email if we give it a username. Let's go ahead and try that. So we need a page that's going to call this verify method. So let's go ahead and create a test page. I'm going to right click and create a new PHP file, test reset. And then I'm going to need to require some stuff. And so let me start with the verify page. I think I probably can just load this common requires. And then we'll create a new user object. And we'll call the user send reset code. And we'll pass in a username. So that should be enough for testing. Let's go ahead and load that page. So localhost 295p share test reset.php. Okay, so undefined function store code and share database on line 105. Should be this pointer store code because it's a method. And then try it again. Okay, so let's check our email. Please reset your generic share password. Generic share password reset. Email address mark.goodman was used to request a password reset link. Generic share website. In order to reset the password for this account, please click on the link below. So that looks like the correct URL. It has the code and my username in it. Of course, I haven't implemented that page yet. But then this code, OPPJ and so on, and in EB, should be set as the reset code for this account. So let's go ahead and refresh this. And we'll check. 0pp ends in EB. So it's storing the reset code in the database correctly and also sending email correctly. So one quick fix and one comment. So the quick fix is this link here, verify my account. That should actually be reset my password. And then the comment is, you'll notice that if the user lookup is successful, then we go ahead and send the email. But we don't do anything at all if the user was not successful, and we don't return any kind of return value. And this is actually a choice. I don't want to give a user any information about what accounts exist or don't exist on the site. I don't want to let them fish for accounts by trying different account names. I only want them to specify an account, and then either the email will be sent or it won't be sent. If they specified the right account, they'll get the email and they'll know that it worked. If they're trying to stumble on somebody else's account, well, they won't see an email, but they also won't get any kind of confirmation from the system that the account doesn't exist. So this is a little bit of a security measure. So once again, I could return a status that indicates whether the mail was sent correctly or not, but that would be giving the user additional information that they could use to hack into the system. And then along the same lines, any changes I make inside of this if statement, I want to make sure get undone and match the state of the world if I dropped through the if statement and skipped it. So I'm setting this stuff on the session, and that would be visible to the user because it would change the nav bar if they were logged in. So I'm always going to make sure that the user is logged out after they access this script. So I'm going to basically copy this code here that has an effect on the outside world. And then just zero out everything. So whether they were successful or unsuccessful in entering a username, they get no feedback at all. Let's just make sure the page still works. And then I'll go to the email and get mail. So I have the right reset. My reset code is EES ending FU. And then make sure that's correct. And the reset code is EES and ends in FU.